The name of today's talk is how to find off-market properties, which is a fun topic because whether you're a home buyer, home seller, realtor, or whoever, and you're looking for opportunities in real estate, everything that's off the market is always going to present a better opportunity as buyers because there's fewer eyeballs on it, right? The more eyeballs, the more competition. Less competition means that we have more ability to negotiate and find better deals for ourselves. Cool. So I think all of you know me. I'm Jake Beal, that goofy guy right there. I've been selling real estate since 2019. Personally, I do about 25 to 30 deals a year, and then my team does hundreds every year. In the last 8 hours, just to show you guys what I'm doing, so you can kind of see how effective this stuff can be. And just less, because it's been a little bit longer than that, because it's been. I started doing this stuff today at around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So however long it's been since then, maybe it's 8 hours. My brain can't math today. And so I generated well more than 3 friends at this point sending me homes that they found online. But what I mean by that is that I posted about something I was looking for, and I had friends that went to go act like they went to go search for me on other various websites just to see what they could find. And then I have more than 3 realtors that are sending me pre-market homes. Like, so I probably have like 15 in my 15 homes that are off market right now on my phone, and more rental opportunities as well. That's not quite what we're looking for, but like lots of different opportunities that just got generated off market from just mere hours ago. And personally, just so you guys know, I have 8 properties that are off market currently, and I got 1 yesterday that I just found out was wanting to go on the market. Cool. So let's go. So the way that I like to think about marketing for what we're looking for, and this works for anybody in any circumstance, so long as you have access to social media and the internet, we're probably looking okay as far as finding off-market properties. So the big ones I'll talk about, I'm going to go from like the easiest, most accessible, and then we're going to work our way down to things that are just a little bit more complicated as we go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go. All right, for sale by owner. This obviously isn't a surprise, but when you're looking for a home and you mentally you're like, I'm looking for a home, I'm looking for deals, and you have that in your head, it's kind of like the same idea of saying, I'm looking for a RAV4. I want to buy a RAV4. Then all of a sudden you see RAV4s everywhere, right? Once you say I'm going to go buy a car and you know what car you're looking for, you're going to see them everywhere. Same thing for this. So when you see or you admit that you're looking for a house, verbalize it, internalize it, you're going to start to see signs out everywhere. So for sale by owner signs, of course, signs that are already on the yard, but particularly look out for the for sale by owner signs. Like try to let those stick out more, because that's where a lot of opportunity is. I'm not to say there isn't opportunity on the market, but we're focusing on the things that are harder to find. So, and since for sale by owners don't know how to market their properties, they're not going to get as many eyeballs and more opportunities on the market, or on the part of the market they're advertising to. A secondary way to find that is search online. But the thing that you have to do is, and this might be obvious to some people, but not to others, type FSBO Spokane, but then you have to search in each individual website. So you can't just go to FSBO Spokane Zillow, which you should check out, but you have to then go to FSBO Spokane Realtor, FSBO Spokane Homes.com, FSBO Spokane Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. So you have to keep on checking each of those places individually, because there's unless the seller is savvy and they know how to market, there's not a great syndication process. And what I mean by that is there's not an automated process for each seller to go send those homes out to each of those websites. There's ways to do it, but it's more steps, and not everybody knows how. So, but as far as finding like the actual homes that are off market, that are easy to find really quickly, this is a great way to do this. And one of the reasons why, and make sure that your realtor calls them to make sure it's a legitimate deal. There are scams out there and all that. And then double check the numbers, because sometimes for sale by owners don't know that like they're way outside the boundaries of the market and they're charging way more than they should. So just make sure that someone that's in the market knows and double checks that stuff for you. One of the reasons why I do like to spend some time talking about for sale by owners, like typically, normally this is a conversation that realtors have with sellers because they're trying to get them as a listing. But I think it's equally important to have this conversation with people that are on the buy side, is that, and this is depending a lot on the experience of the particular individual. Some people do really well for sale by owner. Most people, however, because they don't know how to market properties, at least the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, said that homes sold about 260K compared to 318 for agents. So it's a pretty big wide gap there. Other analysis do show a smaller difference there, about 5 to 7%. But even that's still pretty significant. If we're on the buy side and we're looking for opportunities, even a 5% to 7% difference on the purchase price is a big deal. I mean, I'd like to save 5 to 7% because that means that I get that in equity. Cool. Any questions so far about looking for sale by owners out there?
Yeah, what it's like, why wouldn't you put your house on the market?
Some of them just don't know what the methods are for putting your house out there. So they don't understand. Like, so if you're just wanting to sell your house, their goal is to basically avoid realtor fees so that they can save on that aspect and they don't have as much eyeballs on the property, which means typically, again, unless you're a really good marketer, you're losing your potential highest gain in the market.
So it might take longer for me to sell my house if I keep it off the market, but I might make more money off of it, or I might buy a house for less, but it might take longer to find it.
So it depends on which side of the equation we're on. If we're a buyer and you're being savvy about it, it's more easy to find these properties and take advantage of them being suppressed in price or being able to negotiate the price down, because there's fewer buyers that are looking there. So the smaller the buyer pool is, the easier it is to get a price that is advantageous in the market. The reason, so and typically on the seller side, and again, I want to emphasize, like, open market, like people can do what they want, and some people do really well as a for sale by owner. Sometimes they have a friend that's willing to buy at highest dollar value for the house, and they don't need a realtor. That's great. And sometimes they just feel like they have more assurance doing it themselves. That's totally fine. If they're looking for professional help to get the highest dollar value, most people are going to opt for using a realtor of some sort. Cool. I'm jumping on over to friends. One thing that I think is underutilized when we're trying to find off-market deals, and again, this could be anything from, I'm an investor and I'm looking for investment deals and I want to buy properties to either flip or to rent, or looking for a good deal for a buy and hold, all the way to, I'm looking for a house for me and my family. One of the most powerful things you can do is tell your friends. Well, one thing in advertising circles that we talk about is that when you have an ad spend, it's pretty equal. Like, you have this a dollar value to customer acquisition, in this case a house, that is equal to some part of your dollar spend, and you can tweak with that to make it more efficient over time. But the reason why friends are so powerful is that word of mouth, well, the graph for ads look like this. It's just a regular graph, like, it cuts through the line really quick. Friend or word of mouth graph is more exponential. If somebody is like, things spread like wildfire through word of mouth. But once you kind of hit that, hey, did you hear so and so is looking for this kind of a house? So one of the things we can do when we're talking to our friends is just simply mentioning it. And sometimes, like, when we have these conversations, I don't know if that makes people nervous at all when they're thinking about kind of selling themselves to their friends in that way, or they can kind of feel like they're being a salesman. It doesn't need to come across that way. In the same way that, like, you're just having a conversation with your friend, and if you're already out window shopping for houses, and if you just simply mention to them, by the way, we went shopping for houses the other day, and of course they're just going to ask, oh, cool, tell us about that, and then just give them the specs of what you're looking for. They're going to remember that, especially when Aunt Sally next week says that, hey, her cousin Sally or Billy is going to sell their place, and it happens to have the same criteria that you're looking for. Stuff like that happens. Really, really bizarre connections happen in this business all the time. So the more that you're out there just talking about what you're looking for and being very, like, poignant about it, like, I'm being very specific about what I'm looking for, and you're mentioning it in your conversations frequently, is going to become a very good tool for you to go find the next property. Okay, we're talking about creative ways to find properties. Like most of us are going to find properties on the market, but if we're looking for really good deals that fit our particular circumstance, then it's going to be off the market if we're looking for something that might be more difficult on the market, if that makes sense. A lot of that's going to come to like, maybe I need to close a house in 3 months to 6 months, or I need to purchase home 3 months to 6 months, and I have to go move and live in it for, hopefully before I close. There's weird situations like that that make purchasing your next home more difficult. But sometimes off market, it's easier to, because there's often fewer strings that are attached to the transmission of a home, or transmission of the ownership of the home. Cool. Yeah. So simply just telling your friends we're looking to buy a house. And of course, you can just do this over coffee, text, or email. So I don't mean to belabor the obvious stuff here, but it doesn't have to be formal by any means, right? Like you don't have to go to coffee with each one of your friends. It could just be simply a text to each of your closest friends that you trust, that wouldn't judge you for saying like, hey, I'm we just started. I just want to let you know that we just started looking for a home, and just kind of reaching out to our friends to ask if they could do us a favor, just to keep an ear out. And that's all you have to say. Like they're just kind of being extra ears for you. And if they care about you, they're not going to judge you for sending something like that, right? At least I'd hope not. Moving on. So here's an example script, right? Hey, it's been forever. How's it going? And then just proceed to have a natural everyday number conversation. Doesn't need to be any more than that. Cool. Social media. Post about what you're looking for. Deals happen frequently through social media right now. So if we're looking for particular homes or looking for particular opportunities, like being the best advocate you can for yourself, just by being natural about it. Like we're not trying to be salespeople here. Like you guys are just looking for your next house. Like that's the whole goal of what we're doing. But we're just saying that maybe the opportunities on the market aren't quite the best fit for us. So putting extra legs onto what we're looking for is going to make that search that you have that much more powerful. So if you're posting like, hey, I'm just to your Facebook, hey friends, I'm looking for something really hard and I'm having a hard time finding exactly what I need. I've looked to the MLS and I could really use a favor. If you happen to hear of something on the market or off the market that is a 5-bed, 7-bathroom house, whatever you might be looking for, and you're posting it in like a story format, people love that stuff. Yeah, so like I said, make it a story. So when I don't know if you ever noticed this before, but if you go onto Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and you actually start telling a story of a day, and it's like a longer post, and you're like, hey, that's why like anniversary posts often get like a lot of likes, right? Or if you accomplish something in your life like a graduation, because there's a story arc there. So if we can utilize that same format of there's a story in my life that's happening, I'm inviting you into that story, would you please help me out with this? And it becomes very actionable for your friends to actually start to do that. Cool. Make a post daily about your progress. Keep reminding people about what you're looking for. So as far as like, again, we're creating a story that people can follow along with. People do need reminders sometimes. So if we're utilizing our friends and social media, and even strangers in this sense, because if we're using social media, then our friends are going to maybe share our posts or tag other people that we don't know, stuff like that. So we're going from one, total strangers on the for sale by owner, and then point two is we're talking directly to our friends on a one-to-one. Social media has the potential to strengthen that conversation between you and your friends and go beyond that circle much more quickly. It's kind of like pouring gasoline onto the first thing that you do, which is talking to your friends one-on-one. Social media will just make that go faster. Cool. Hack. Go find a bunch of realtors on social media. Disclaimer, you can only sign with one realtor at a time, and they're making us like actually sign, like if you're looking at homes and stuff like that, Washington State wants you to have something in writing. So I mean, I should re-clarify. There's other way. You don't have to be exclusive with a realtor, but you do have to sign with a realtor before showing a home is becoming something they're really nailing down on. So just forewarning, but it's still good, I think, that if you're out there putting yourself out there on social media anyway, you might as well start looping in the people that have the most resources of off-market properties, and often realtors are going to be ones that are have a good pulse on what's on the market. Even if a house is represented, it doesn't mean that they're not a potential good deal, because sometimes realtors will have what's called pocket listings, where the seller wants to sell but they don't want to go on the market. So if you're out there presenting regularly what you're looking for, either realtors or friends of realtors, or people that are just keeping up to date with what's happening in the market, you're talking to their friends and whatnot, things will spread around more quickly. If you walk into a real estate office and there's more than 3-4 realtors there, they're all talking about the listings that they have. All right, cool. The extra secret hack is have your realtor do this with you and for you. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So today I put this post out at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And I did this for a couple clients of mine. And I just said, hey, I could use your help. I have some clients and this is their situation. They're moving from this area to another area. And I had 32 comments. People tagged other realtor friends. And I got a lot of people that messaged me later directly on Facebook and Instagram. And I haven't checked my TikTok yet. Actually, I should go back to my TikTok and see if anybody else has messaged me from there. Let's see. I think there was a couple people that messaged me. Yeah, a couple people on TikTok also started to comment about possible properties and stuff like that. So like in terms of the possible leads for homes that are not widely known about, I've probably generated not kidding, like almost 30 opportunities on homes that are off market just by posting this. So I made this as a post. I did an Instagram post and then a few videos for these clients and generated like a lot of opportunity, which I think is pretty exciting. Cool. The end. Hey, I was pretty close to 20 minutes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Cool. That was my first time with that presentation, so I was really excited to get that one through. So any questions and stuff that you guys want to go over and how all this stuff operates?
I'm just having a hard time understanding why you would keep your house off the market.
Because the stress of selling your house is so high, I think some people just immediately assume that they're going to be able to do it better. And to be frank, some people can. If they have the skill set of a realtor and a marketer, then they can sell them their houses by themselves. I was actually listening to a lawyer talk about this, like a real estate lawyer, and she was saying, I hire a realtor for when I'm buying a house or selling a house because I don't want another full-time job. So this is the sort of thing that and by the way, this is what I'm doing inverse for my sellers as well, is either way, I'm looking for a solution based on people that I've pulled into my database. Like we have a database of 20,000 people. So, and that's not including social media following and anything like that. Like that's just people that we're regularly conversing with about Spokane real estate. Whether buying or selling, it's just how can we leverage the amount of people that we have in our database as a tool for either a buyer or a seller.